Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to have a look at the introduction to the GitHub. This video is mainly focused for an infrastructure background guy like me, new developers, new GitHub users, and probably students. One key important thing I have to mention over here is that the Azure DevOps and associated tools, for instance, GitHub we are talking about now is not suited only for developers. It can very well suit for an infrastructure guy like me, only with PowerShell experience to implement the infrastructure changes via infrastructure as a code. For example, you can even fully centralize and deploy the new configuration, existing configuration, or a new deployment in Azure Infra, Office 365, or even your on-premise environment through Azure DevOps. So GitHub is one of the free open source collaboration platform. You can host and review code on GitHub, manage projects, create software alongside millions of other developers. So the question might come into your mind, why GitHub? In the software engineering world, there is something called version control or a source control. It's a class of system responsible for managing changes in your code that is the background system of your application. So the version control is a component of a software configuration management, which is more important for your application. For example, you're making any changes to your application that is done through a software code change, which is done in the background, and all the companies needs to have a control of the source of the code. So just in case if any changes whatever it was done is not successful, it has a lot of bug, they can revert back to the previous version. So as a result of this, Azure DevOps support two different types of source control, which is the first one is the Team Foundation version control, which was used in the past, and then later Team Foundation version control in the version 2013, Microsoft introduced the Git into them. So the Team Foundation version control supports two different types of workspaces when working with the client tools. Like the first one is the server workspace, and the second one is the local workspace. In the server workspace, like it since it's a centralized version control system, you always need to have connected to the main code, and usually the files on your development machine are uh, marked as only read-only files. You will not have opportunity to modify them, and you always need to have an internet connection to connect to your the main repository. And for instance, if you have a proxy connected network, then you need to put all the configurations on your client editor, or from the machine where you're connecting. For instance, you're trying to do when you're offline, it's not possible uh, by using the server workspace. When you're talking about the local workspace, in the local workspace, uh, like you're having a copy of it locally on the machine, but however, the local workspace, when you do a check-in, then there are few conflicts always noted. So that was a challenge when using the Team Foundation version control, which is a centralized version control system. And later, when Git came, Git is a distributed version control system. There is a difference between a centralized version control system and a distributed version control system. So in the distributed version control system, people can create multiple branches, work parallelly, and then do their contribution. So that's the main benefit of a distributed version control system. So when Git was introduced, in the Git, you have option that you install them locally on your computer, and then you handle the version control locally on your computer, and then branching, like it supported branching, so which means like you can have your own branch and then work parallelly and merge your changes to the main branch. So the same thing when the GitHub came. GitHub is nothing but it's a cloud platform which uses Git as the core technology. It simplifies the process of collaborating on projects and provides command line tools overall flow that allows developers and users to work together. It also provides a website. So GitHub acts as a remote repository, as mentioned previously in the Git section. So whether you're going to plan a new feature, fixing bug, collaborating on changes, GitHub is the place where most of the developers gather to make things and make them in a better way. So with GitHub, we can create branches and work in parallel, as I talked about in a few seconds back. So the key features provided by GitHub include like issues. You can create issues for tracking your bugs or features, notifications, discussions, pull requests, forks, and projects. We'll have a look at them shortly in the demo. So if you want to have a look at getting started with GitHub, there is a very good link which I'm going to add it into the uh, link of this video. So there is something called github.com, and then skills introduction to GitHub. Yeah, this is very good. This is a very good link where you can also start your own introduction. So in this video, we can have a look at this. So in the introduction of the GitHub, this is one of the URL which is provided by the GitHub itself. So what you're going to do is just you can use this template, and the moment when you use this template, it gives you an opportunity to create a new repository. So I'm just going to write git demo. So in the git demo, I'm just going to give a description, demo for GitHub new users. Yes, it's not git, so it's GitHub demo one. Okay, because I already had GitHub demo, so that's the reason I'm just putting GitHub demo one. So when you create the repository, it gives you an opportunity to create a public or private. A public is anyone on the internet can see this repository and can choose who can commit. You can choose who can commit, and private is you can choose who can see and commit to this repository. In this example, I'm just going with public because I really don't have any code. So I'm just clicking on create a repository from template. So the moment when I click on create a repository from the template, it is creating the repository in the backend, and you see this is the default one which I have. It has nothing. It's a public, and by default it has the license and README and MD. This is a free version of GitHub where I don't have the licensing one, but the free version of GitHub is more than sufficient to work on your code. So the first thing what we can have a look at is the issues. So when you click on the issues, uh, on the right side, I can just go ahead and click on a new issue, and then I can just put a new feature, for example. And in the comment, I'm putting to roll out a new feature. Over the right, there is an option to assign. So here, in my case, I have only myself in this Git Hub account. So I'm just adding myself, and then labels. This is a very good topic. In the labels, you have option to filter them. Like for example, you can add it as a bug if this issue you're going to create it for a bug, or enhancement, which is a new feature request. If you want to categorize it, so you can just choose like this, and then you can also add this to a project milestone. In my case, I have not created a project in the GitHub, so I will not have this. If you have them, then you can select it to a project and give it a milestone also. So here I'm just clicking on submit a new issues. So the moment when you click on submit a new issues, then your issues is created. Like this, you can keep on creating new issues to the GitHub repository and assign it to the people, so they start working on it. And the other one, what we can have a look at it is like, for example, you have notifications. So in the email notifications, you have an option. So who are the email, who are the email address, or who are the persons to receive notification when a push events are triggered. For example, I can just put my email addresses, email address, so that I'll be notified when some commits happen. And there is an option called setup notifications, and in the setup notifications I can still go and in the setup notification I can also still go and set notification to come to the mobile app in the GitHub. I'm just trying to look for it. Yeah, there is an option, but you can have a look at it because you can set up notifications to come via mobile app. That is also possible. So this is the notification part, and just going back to the GitHub demo, when you see there are two types of branches: the main branch and you can create a feature branch. In our case, there is only one main branch. In the main branch, you have all your files, whatever it is present in your repository. So in order to create a new branch, what you need to do is just simply go to the branch, and the branch you have an option to create a new branch. So in my case, I'm just clicking on the GitHub demo once again, coming back to the branches, and in the branch, I'm clicking on new branch. The moment when I click on new branch and type in clone for just an example, and then I click on create a branch. So the moment when I create a branch, this is my branch and it is merged to the main branch. So for instance, I wanted to add something to this branch. What I can do is I can go to the GitHub demo and go to the two branches. This is the clone for Satish which I create. When you look into two branches, don't confuse. The first one is the main branch. So that would be your source and the main branches, which when you create a feature branch, all the changes that you have done will be made on the feature branch. So when I'm clicking on clone for Satish, this is my branch. Here I have an option to go to file and then add a code. So for example, I just go to file and look to upload. So for example, I go to GitHub demo again, and then branches. This is my branch, and in the branch I am clicking on add a file. So when you add a file, there is an option create new file, upload file. So I'm just clicking on upload file. In the upload file, I'm going to choose your file locally from my laptop. So here I'm just putting Office 365 groups script. And the moment when I upload it, there is an option to add a comment. So I'm putting it add the PS1 script for Office 365 groups. And then I click on commit changes. So the moment when I click on commit changes, this is done on my clone repository, which is the branch. So here, the moment when I click on commit, immediately I get a message clone for Satish had recent pushes less than a minute ago, compare and pull request. So when I do a compare and pull request, what it is going to do is it is going to have a look at the main branch and the clone for Satish, which is my feature branch, and it is going to do a commit. So for example, so when I'm going to do a pull request, so the question might come, what is the pull request? So a pull request is the mechanism used to signal that the commits from one branch are ready to be merged into your main branch. So the developer submitting the pull request will often request one or more reviewers to verify code and approve the merge. These reviewers can have the opportunity to comment on the changes, add their own, or use the pull request itself for further discussion. It is not mandatory that the pull request is only for the main branch. It can also be for another branch. A pull request is a way to ask another developer to merge one of your branches into their repository. So, or even when a developer gets stuck with a complex problem, they can open a pull request to ask for help from the rest of the team. It can be treated as a code review. So in my case, just I'm just putting create a pull request. When you click on the drop down, you see two options: create a pull request. This open a pull request that is ready for review, or create a draft pull request that cannot be merged until marked by ready for review. So I'm just clicking, in my case, create a pull request. So the moment when I create a pull request, there is an option. You can also require approval from specific reviewers before merging. I can add a rule and then I can say, okay, if you're going to do a merge request, you need minimum one approver, two approver, or even five approvers. I can do that. So that is the way to control your main branch. So in this example, we are not doing it because it is just a demo. But in real case, you can add a rule to require approval from specific reviewers before merging them to a main branch. So here I'm just clicking on merge pull request. So the moment when I click on merge pull request, I can just put add files via upload, and then I'm putting it add a PS1 file, and I'm clicking on confirm merge. The moment when I click on confirm merge, I get a message. Your pull request was successfully merged and closed. There is an option I can delete a branch. So because my changes was successfully merged, I don't need to have a branch anymore for this project. I can delete the branch also. And this is the way you do the merge. So after you do the merge, there is a good option like for each, and I can just go back to the demo. This is my file, and whatever the changes you did for the merge, there is always a unique ID created. And when I click on the unique ID, over the right side, you see what are the changes I did. For example, it says Satish committed 44 seconds ago. It gives the time span and what are the changes I did. So it gives you the full visibility of what are the changes that you have done. Uh, and this is one of the good options. Having said that, today you learned about GitHub repositories, branches, commits, and pull requests. You created a branch, commit, and a pull request. You merged a pull request, and also you see how to make a first contribution to a GitHub. So you can always go to GitHub, create a new account, and then just follow the link what I'm going to add it in this YouTube video, so that you can use the same template and start looking into how to start using and see what are the options that is available in the GitHub. Hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe for receiving more information and tips on Microsoft Cloud technologies. Thank you.